Sometimes you have to let people suffer, not out of spite, but out of wisdom. I used to think loving someone meant saving them from their bad decisions, from their patterns, and from themselves. I will warn them, explain, repeat. I will step in front of the consequence before it could land. And I thought I was helping. I wasn't helping, I was interfering. And interference delays learning. Here's what I had to understand. People don't make the same mistakes twice by accident. They choose it, they ignore the warnings. They repeat patterns they already know leads nowhere. Then they expect someone to absorb the consequence for them. They're robbing them of the only thing that actually changes behavior. Experience. You can explain the same message 1,000 times until someone feels it. Nothing sticks. That's why people make the same choices even after you warn them. They heard you. They just didn't feel you. Pain creates memory. Words creates awareness. But you see, pain creates change. Think about your life. What actually changed you? Was it an advice? Was it a book? Was it someone explaining to you what you should do? Or was it the moment life hits you in the chest and you had no choice but to adapt? The lesson that stuck were the ones that hurt, not because pain is good, but because pain is memorable. And memory is where change lives. And here's the hardest part to accept. Most people who are struggling are not confused. They know the relationship is toxic. They know the habit is destructive, and they know the path leads nowhere. They are not choosing out of ignorance. They are choosing comfort over growth. And that's their right, and it is not your job to override it. You cannot want someone's growth more than they want it. You cannot walk their path for them. You cannot carry their lessons without stealing their strength. Trying to carry everyone's consequences will destroy you. It creates resentment, it creates burnout, and it creates emotional exhaustion because you are taking responsibility for outcomes that were never yours to manage. The savior complex is a slow suicide. You bleed for wounds that you did not make. So you carry weight that you are not meant to lift, and eventually you collapse, not from giving, but from giving to those that will not receive. Letting go does not mean you don't care. It means you care enough to allow reality to teach the lesson instead of you playing the savior. Some people will only change after life corrects them. That's not cynicism. That is observation. They need the relationship to end. They need the money to run out, and they need the body to break. They need the consequence to land. And if you keep stepping in front of the correction never comes, and the person would never change. Your rescue becomes their delay, and your love becomes their obstacle. Here's the boundary. Let them suffer, not out of spite, but out of wisdom, not out of cruelty, but out of love. Love that trusts them to learn. The love that respects their path, the love that does not steal their growth by preventing their pain. You can speak the truth maybe once or maybe twice and let life speak. Because the growth delayed by rescue is growth denied. Die empty, but do not die carrying things that were never yours.